Hey, it's Chris Miles. On today's episode on New on Music Row, we've got a lot of stuff to cover, and we're going to feature an artist from Parkland, Florida, and Alexander City, Alabama. I didn't even know there was an Alexander City, Alabama. Stick around. We'll give you all the details coming up in just a few seconds right here on the Rise Network. Hey, it's Chris Miles. Welcome to New on Music Row. This week's episode is jam-packed with all kinds of stuff, especially if you are a country music enthusiast, new country music enthusiast, I should say. But we'll take a look back at some things in music history as well, too, on this episode. And, of course, we'll talk about the 5 picks of the week, the songs that I think are going to click on radio. They're going to be released to radio today, and I think they're going to click on radio. May not happen right away. Some stations don't release songs as soon as they come out. It takes a while, especially in country music. But you're going to want to be sticking your ear to that podcast that you listen to. It's called New on Music Row, by the way, right here on the Rise Network, because we'll keep you up to date on all the latest and greatest. And let's just jump right in. Last week's picks, again, these are in no particular order, but last week's pick, we had basically a wide range of stuff going on there. We had Ty Myers, Through a Screen. He's from Austin, Texas, by the way. We featured him on the very first episode of New on Music Row as one of the rising star spotlight of that episode. So where did Through a Screen land this week as far as streams go? 884,000. Ty Myers is the guy that you need to be watching out for if he's not already on your radar. He needs to be on your radar right now. He is going to go big fairly quickly here. Moving on, we've got the 502s, a song called Quicksand. Not everybody's cup of tea, because the 502s are kind of like a combination of country music and then like that party music and the Florida music vibe kind of thing. So they kind of landed where I thought they were going to be, 103 streams for the week. But, you know, Quicksand's a fun song. You should give it a listen to. They've got some other great stuff as well, too. Give Just a Little While a listen, and maybe Summer Fling. That's one of the fun ones from them. Moving on, we got a gal from Raleigh, North Carolina. I Couldn't Care Less. Actually, she changed the title to Couldn't Care Less. And last week it did about 166,000 streams and growing. Priscilla Block, of course, is the gal's name. You, Me, and the Whiskey, you probably know her from that song. Either that, or you might know her from a song called My Bar, or Wish You Were the Whiskey, or, you know, maybe Just About Over You. That was a real big hit for her as well, too. Moving on, we had Kat Valesco, who was our featured artist of last week. She was the Rising Star Spotlight. She's out of Columbia, South Carolina. Breaking My Own Heart was the single she released last week. About 2,222 streams, kind of where we thought it was going to land. And then last but not least, straight from the heart, Alexandria K. She's the one that I also featured in our Give a Little More Love Spotlight. Alexandria, of course, from Waterloo, Illinois. So she's a little closer to home for me. I'm in the Chicagoland area. And she did really well this week. 336,000 streams, about 333,000 streams, basically. Straight from the heart, take a listen to it. I think you're going to like it. She's got some other great stuff out there as well, too. Best, Worst, X, Feminine Energy. And then my personal favorite, I love Back Road Therapy. That's just a great song to listen to, like when you're out on the road. And, maybe you're going through it as far as, relationships are concerned and stuff like that. Anyway, give Alexandria K a like. Follow her on all of the socials and everything like that. Speaking of following, follow us on socials. Whether you follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, or even Apple Music. By the way, you can also catch a podcast version of this, what I call vodcast, on Apple Music and Spotify as well. So follow those, subscribe, do all the things you need to do, like, share this with your friends. Let's get the word out, because now it's time to take a look at the 5 picks of the week. And again, in no particular order, Jordan Davis, Ain't Enough Road. Again, Jordan Davis from Shreveport, Louisiana. And I mean, what more can we say about Jordan Davis? He's huge, right? Buy Dirt, rather, with Luke Bryan. That's the one that kind of put him on the map for most of us. Next thing you know, another great song from him. My favorite one from him is Singles You Up. I love that song. And then also What My World Spins Around. That's a great song. Great, love song about, that special someone in your life. Although it's a little faster than a love song, but it's about, his world. Moving on from San Luis Obispo, California. I think I got that right. We're asking the Spanish translator. Look at me. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Like It Like That. Dasha She's coming back on the music scene. You know her from the song Austin. You probably don't know that song as Austin as a title. You probably know it as Boots Stop Working. And now that song's probably playing in your head, and you're welcome. She's also got some other great stuff out there. Not at This Party, Bye Bye Bye. Not the NSYNC song, by the way. Didn't I? And then Heartbreaker from Tennessee. That's one of my favorites of hers. Check that one out. I think you're going to like that. Moving on into the 5 picks of the week, we got Ashley Cooke making her debut on the 5 picks. Swear Words is the title of the song that she's released today. She's from Parkland, Florida. She's also got another song out that just came out a couple months ago. That one's called The F Word. So there's a little bit of a swear word vibe going on here. See what we got going on? Yeah. Ashley Cooke, known for songs like Your Place, which was huge for her. That's the one that pretty much catapulted her onto the scene. I Almost Do, Over When We're Sober. That's with Brantley Gilbert. Check that out. I think you're going to enjoy that as well, too. Then we've got Cassius Culpepper, not to be confused with a former NFL superstar with the same last name, Dante Culpepper, right? And they're not even related from what I could find. But Cassius Culpepper, a guy that I definitely think you need to put on the scene as far as your music tastes are concerned. He's got a track coming out this week called Believe. He's from Alexander City, Alabama. I didn't even know there was an Alexander City, Alabama. Until now, because thanks to Cassius Culpepper. We'll talk more about him because I'm going to feature him in the Rising Star Spotlight of the week. I got a chance to see him at Smokeout right here in Chicagoland. Well, in Windy City, right? It's called the Windy City Smokeout. I got a chance to see him on stage on Chicago Live, so I've got some stuff to share with you about him. And then the last pick of the week, Max McNow, featuring Avery Anna, who is another great up-and-coming star as well. Max is out of Bend, Oregon. Probably Round the Bend, Oregon. No, I'm just kidding. It's Bend, Oregon. Anyway, the title of the track, Turned Into Missing You. I got a sneak peek of it. Oh my God. It's absolutely amazing. But Max is one of these guys that you need to get on your radar as well, too. I know I keep saying that, but that's really what this show is about. It's about introducing you to the new and upcoming rising stars. And, of course, featuring the stars that we all know and love as well, too. But the real focus of this, and the reason why we call this New on Music Row, is because we want you to get you into some of the newer rising stars, shall we say. So Max McNow this week, of course, featuring Avery Anna. The song is called Turned Into Missing You. Check out some other stuff by Max. He's got a great song called Better Me For You. I love that song. A Lot More Free, Same Questions, and then Forever Ain't Long Enough, which is another great track from him. Max, of course, is up and coming as well, but that's the 5 picks for the week. So let's recap. Jordan Davis's Ain't Enough Road, Dasha with Like It Like That, Ashley Cooke's Swear Words, Cassius Culpepper with Believe. He'll be featured in just a few seconds here on the Rising Star Spotlight. And then last but not least, Max McNow featuring Avery Anna, Turned Into Missing You. Those are the 5 picks for the week. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, as always, if you got any suggestions or whatever, just let me know. That's what the comment section is there for. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, because we're going to want to make sure that we get this guy in your Rising Star Spotlight. Cassius Culpepper, we were talking about him just a few seconds ago because he is on the 5 picks of the week. Of course, he's from Alexander City, Alabama. Got his start at the age of 5. I love it when these artists have this story from, like, when I was a kid. Like, even for me, when I was a kid, my dad gave me a microphone that he hooked up to, like, his stereo at home, and he played old classic rock songs like My Best Friend by Queen. And then he recorded me, like, singing the songs as I kind of, like, ran around the table and stuff like that. So that's the cool thing, the cool story there, right, is you get to know the insider information about these guys. So Cassius Culpepper, at the age of 5, he found his voice while he was growing up singing in his local church. And he didn't actually start writing music until he got, a little further into his career. Not till 2020 is when he actually started going from a listener to a performer. But along the way, he credits his influences as Stevie Wonder, Ray LaMontagne, Howling Wolf, and then also Chris Stapleton as well. And you can hear all of these influences in his music, and that is one of the reasons why he's the Rising Star Spotlight. The other reason is he's got this husky sandpaper growl in his voice, and it just plows you over like a freight train. And once you start listening to his stuff, if you're a music enthusiast and you know what it's like to have an ear in music, I think Cassius Culpepper is going to be on your radar. He's got some great songwriting. His songs tell some great stories, most of them about his life. I mean, that's usually what artists do, right? They usually write songs that are about their life, right? And some of his stuff, his voice and the way he writes, it's got like a haunting feel for it. I guess it's great that he's releasing stuff now in August, right? As we've got October coming around. He's opened shows nationwide for some great artists, Charles Wesley Godwin, Charlie Crockett, and then the Christian band Need to Breathe as well, too. And you know what? This is just some of the reasons why he needs to be on the Rising Star Spotlight this week. But like I said, he didn't actually start transitioning into his current career until the pandemic. Like in 2020, he went from listening to performing. That's when he picked up a guitar and he started delivering cover songs, and he was playing those at backyard bonfires. And it just grew and grew from there. Plus, he did all of this while he was serving in the Navy out in Spain, no less. So, like, he's from America, but he started his career, or started learning his craft, shall we say, in Spain, of all places, while he was serving in the Navy. I mean, how awesome is that? So, again, Cassius Culpepper, Rising Star Spotlight of the Week. I think I've proven my case here, but let me give you some more info to follow. Of course, we talked about Believe, which was his song that came out today, but check out Southern Man, After Me, and my favorite one. I love this because my 16-year-old loves to say it. She goes, "Who hurt you?" She says it like all the time. It's hilarious. And I've got another story about that as well, too. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the episode. But so Southern Man, After Me. Southern Man's one song. After Me is another. Who Hurt You? Who Hurt You? And then Out of My Mind and Man of His Word. Man of His Word is a song for me that has been on repeat this whole week. And I think once you start listening to it and you get into the lyrics, you'll be like, oh, yeah, because it's about a gal wanting to be with a man of his word and a guy who literally says what he's going to do and does what he says he's going to do. You know what I mean? I think I said that the same way twice. But anyway, Cassius Culpepper, get him on your radar, get him on your Spotify playlist, and give him a listen to. By the way, speaking of Spotify playlists, we've got a Spotify playlist now for New on Music Row. You can find it on Spotify. Just search New on Music Row. All the songs that we talk about in this show will be listed. And in certain cases, I give you a second song. Like when I do the Rising Star Spotlight, Cassius Culpepper this week will have, obviously, Believe, but he'll also have another song. I'll probably throw up Man of His Word on there as well, just to give you some extra flavor. And, of course, any of the other songs I talk about. So it's not like a huge, huge list. Each week will probably have anywhere between like 5 and maybe 10 songs for you to take a listen to. But this would be another opportunity for you to listen to the music. You could even listen to the music while you listen to the podcast, all on Spotify. You'll probably have to have 2 Spotify things set up, but you know what? You'll figure it out. Speaking of figuring it out, let's figure out what happened on this date. Of course, August 22nd, in music land. Like who had a birthday, who had, and what highlight in people's career was going on there. So we're gonna go all the way back to 1957. Born on this day in San Antonio, Texas, was a gal by the name of Holly Dunn. She's a country music artist who first found fame in her 1986 top 10 hit Daddy's Hands. And that was from her self-titled debut album. Then she charted more than like a dozen country singles, 2 of which, Are You Ever Gonna Love Me and You Really Had Me Going, reached number 1 at the number 1 spot. Unfortunately, she passed away on November 14th, 2016, but no reason why we can't celebrate her, especially if that Daddy's Hands, that's like a classic song in country music. If you haven't heard that song, you need to give it a listen. But happy heavenly birthday, I guess we can say, to Holly Dunn there. So born on this date in 1960, one of my favorite, what I would call 90s country music artists, in DeQueen, Arkansas. Country music singer by the name of Colin Ray. You know who we're talking about? Yeah. He made his debut on the American country music scene in 1991 with the release of his debut album, All I Can Be, which produced his number 1 hit, Love, Me. And if you've ever heard that song and you didn't cry, you have no soul. That's just the way that it is. That song is such a tearjerker. I mean, I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. Such a great, great song about a couple's love for each other. And, memories are just flowing right now. So happy birthday, Colin Ray. And happy heavenly birthday, rather, to Holly Dunn. So let's take a look at what happened on this date in country music history. 1953, Goldie Hill was inducted into the Grand Ole Opry. She was one of the first women in country music to be inducted, and she became one of the first women to reach the top of the country music charts with her number one 1953 hit, I Let the Stars Get in My Eyes. I think we might actually feature that in the playlist this week on our Spotify playlist, because that's a fun song too. Maybe we'll put Daddy's Hands on there as well too. She had some great stuff along with Kitty Wells and Gene Shepard. Basically, she helped set the standard for later women in country music. Consider them to be country music pioneers. There you go. Moving ahead to 1962, Willie Nelson started recording his first album. And then I wrote a Quonset Hut Studio. Oh, and then I wrote it. And that's at Quonset Hut Studio in Nashville. The lights in here are a little bit different. You probably noticed the background, by the way. It's a lot different. We had a little bit of situation with the last studio. Stuff had, a lot of rain here in the Midwest. So we moved into a new place just for this week. Maybe next week as well, too. We'll see. But so I'm getting used to the lights in here, and like the reflection coming off the screen it's a little every once in a while. But anyway, let's go back. In 1962, Willie Nelson started recording his first album, and then I wrote at Quonset Hut Studio in Nashville, and it was after he signed with Liberty Records. He started the recording sessions during the night, and then it basically went until the morning of the following day. So 24 hours or less, and he recorded his first album. There you go. 1983, Kenny Rogers released his 15th studio album and his number one album, Eyes That See in the Dark. It was produced by Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees. Can you figure out what song came from that album? I'll give you a hint. Dolly Parton sings it with him. All right, ready? Go. Guess. If you said Islands in the Stream, you are absolutely correct. It's from the album. Of course, that's the one that became a major hit. It reached number one on both the Billboard pop and country charts, and it turned out to be the number one country chart song of the entire year for 1983 as well. So big kudos from there. And, of course, now Islands in the Stream is probably playing in your head. You're welcome. I will not put that one on the playlist, though, because when it comes to Kenny Rogers, that's probably my least favorite Kenny Rogers song. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Anyway. All right. Last but not least, on this day in country music history, 1998, Jody Messina was number one on the Billboard Country Singles Chart with I'm All Right. I love that song. It was the title track of her second studio album, so you know what that was called, right? I'm All Right? Yeah, were you paying attention? There you go. All right. So that's a look at country music history. Again, if you've got some ideas, you want to send out a birthday shout out to somebody or something like that, we could totally include it in this portion of the show. Just remember to leave a comment, like, subscribe, follow, all that kind of stuff. So, last but not least, I got a chance to see Morgan Wallen last weekend in Cleveland at Browns Stadium. Now, some people have said that Miranda Lambert couldn't make the weekend, so that's why another guy was out there. Thomas Rhett? Yeah. So Thomas Rhett, who is huge in country music, opened for Morgan Wallen. But then there was another situation where another individual couldn't make it as well. And so Gavin Adcock stepped in, and he opened for Thomas Rhett and then for Morgan Wallen. And if you've ever been to Morgan Wallen concert, if you've never been, I should say, you need to go. Even if you're one of those people that's a heckler, like I used to be, I really was just like, dude, enough is enough. It just song after song after song after song, and it's like a lot of people have said, dude, we don't need another hit. We don't need another hit. Not weeks after the last one. But you know what? I got to say this. Morgan is a showman. He really puts on an awesome show. He's amazing live. I'll probably share on our YouTube channel some of the video that I took from him. He's got a really cool stage. He plays to one side of the audience, then another side of the audience, and then he gets out into like the main section of the audience. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And we'll share some video with you, like I said, on our YouTube channel coming up here fairly quickly. But Gavin Adcock opened for him. He came out with a case of light beer and like threw it into the crowd. So of course there was nothing in it. But then he had another case of light beer and he proceeded to drink a couple from it as he sang his songs and, gave us a little bit of spiel about what he did and stuff like that. Now he's from Watkins, Georgia. He's a former Georgia Southern University football player. And when he was on the stage, you could totally tell that he was a football player. He's got the physique for it and everything like that. He also wanted to be a professional bull rider, but then he tore his knee while he was playing football. And Own Worst Enemy released last week, as a matter of fact. So during the show, he featured a song called Outside Dog from Gavin Adcock. And you know what? Here's the thing. If you've ever been to Cleveland and the Brown Stadium, you know that they call themselves like the dog pound, right? So they're all like, hoo, 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 right? So he like had everybody do the what I would call the dog pound growl, I guess you could call it, before he talked about Outside Dog. And, you know, here's the amazing thing about Gavin. He sounds live just as good as he sounds from the recording that you hear like on Spotify. I mean, it is perfect. Exact match. There's no pitch control. There's no, it might be a little processing and that kind of stuff, what they do in the studios. But I tell you what you heard on the track when you were listening to him on Spotify, or maybe if you even bought the CD or whatever, is what you get live. And it's absolutely amazing. And he's a little bit of a rowdy cowboy type. So he's kind of fun to watch. A little teaser, little warning, I guess I should say, for the children in the audience. He will take his shirt off because, you know, that's the kind of guy he is. So, but like I said, you know, he's got a family that's worked in the professional bull rider industry for so long. So that's kind of where that happened. He started writing songs when he was in high school because of his football injury. And that time they used healing is what he did to that time was used to record his songs and everything else. So, he's got, 253 million streams collectively with his recent release, A Cigarette. Also check out Four Leaf Clover from him, Morning Bail, If I Can't Have You is another great one. When he did A Cigarette, he took like a cigarette and stuck it in his guitar as well too. So check out Outside Dog from Gavin Adcock. I've talked enough about the concert and how it was. It was absolutely amazing. But check out Gavin Adcock, Outside Dog. And let me know what you think. And that's going to do it for this episode of New on Music Row. I'm Chris Miles. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things you need to do. Follow me on socials. We'll put the link down there as well, too. And, of course, you can hit me up there as well. And you can hit me up next week, or I'll hit you up next week when the next episode of New on Music Row comes out every Friday, only here on the Rise Network. Have a great week, and I'll see you on the flip side.